Shin is a carefree kid living in the Republic of San Magnolia with parents who are scientists. Shin doesn't know your family is not just ordinary scientists, but is a descendant of a noble lineage from the Jack Empire famous for its psychic abilities. Your life seems perfect. Especially when you have brother Suri beside you. The person you consider a hero. Suri is such a cool older brother who looks like a character from a movie. Shin is extremely idolizing Star VEO'd, and you always spend time with your brother. Two brothers are inseparable like glue in 2005. And they always laugh and joke as if this life is nothing but shades of pink. Sometimes Shin will go with his parents when the grandparents conduct research with their colleagues. You still hang out with the daughter of a millionaire. Even though this little girl always acts as if she is no longer at the age of eating the age to play again. However, Shin's life about to step into a moment of harshness. Everything changes when the Jack Empire declared war on the San Magnolia Republic, free the terrifying robots like ghosts and Tensleys, called Legend. The Republic declares they will respond with automatic war machines. This promises to be a humanitarian war. No human soldiers should shed blood. A little spoiler is that you guys are all being deceptive. Since then, Shin's only friend turned their back on him, calling you a dirty thing and not wanting to play with you anymore. After that, the Republic divided the land into 85 districts. Among them Alba, silver-haired, silver-eyed people considered a superior race. However, they again force any AI that does not have enough noble Alba blood must enter District 86 to hide. A slum where the discarded are used, created to control war machines. Shin's family has been betrayed by a friend, Alba. And finally taken there. Become a group of discarded good soldiers. Don't know anything about the current situation. I cannot understand what is happening to me. One day you can no longer hear your mother's voice and ask Suri where are their parents. According to the script, in war anime, both parents have passed away, leaving the two brothers alone to take care of themselves. Suri is completely crazy because he not only lost his parents and also have to receive a letter entering 5 requests. You must sacrifice your life for San Magnolia. After the pain, Suri revealed a different personality. He started to shout and choke you and blame you for everything. Suri cried out that their parents died to protect Shin, and told him he would die just like that because San Magnolia does not care about people like them. Shin almost got to meet his parents again as a priest heard the scream and intervened in time. Pull the lever, then perform artificial respiration for Shin. Acknowledge your mistakes. Suri swears will protect my younger brother from the battlefield in the future. But that is a promise that he could not keep. The Republic also has no intention of letting Xion escape from the war. And made you enter 5 like your brother did before. The story is even more tragic when the last birth found the body of my brother I once idolized inside the war machine. Was beheaded and left on the battlefield. Please continue to fight in the war. And finally reach the rank of captain in the Spearhead team, an elite military unit in the 1st combat zone of District 86. They gathered the best soldiers here. But even so, these people could not stay for long. Now grown up and tougher. Please become the god of war on the battlefield. You value work and serious enough to end it themselves the severely injured comrades because this Kim must be yours at all costs. The enemy shouldn't even think about winning. After each battle, you will earn 10 the personal tags of those who have gone to battle. Carving names into each form to ensure they will never be forgotten. One day, Shin's team has a new handler. A confident girl named Lena, who is also considered just, got promoted to supervise Spearheads. She easily integrates with the whole team. And introduced myself as their new handler. When she started a conversation with Shin, you said your code name is Undertaker. All 86 soldiers have code names that their handlers call them. Therefore, Shin's team is not worried at all. When hearing that they have a new partner. Shin always maintains a professional spirit. So you still politely talk to Lena. You really look forward to working with her. Earlier, Lena had met General Casto. He urgently assigned her the mission with the Spearhead team. It turns out that Hender had resigned earlier due to being too scared. Shin's indescribable madness on the battlefield. Casto blames Shin because you are famous for scaring the Hender, making them give up or worse, drive oneself straight into the underworld. It's not a coincidence that people call you an Undertaker. Shin has met more types of hunters than one can count. And no AI can tolerate your work ethic. After the meeting with the general, Lena went to meet her friend Annis Point, one of the scientists standing behind the Paris devices of the military. Basically, it is an upgraded Bluetooth headset. Lena has a big dream of turning them into a tech gadget, tired of everything like Apple Vision Pro has the ability to synchronize with hearing. And the vision of the unit so that she can follow the battle in real time. Just like watching people play games on stream. But Inez told her to tidy up, then explain that this is not like watching a PUBG stream because it is a real war and she has the ability to become overwhelmed if overloaded information transmission line. Including the current Paris device seems to be crossing the limit that the human brain can process. And finally, Lena had to accept the skilled Paris that my little friend developed instead of Apple Vision Pro in her dreams. She will listen to her team's voice and monitor the battle through radar to plan the operation. The next day, the Spirehead team prepared for a new battle. Their enemy. Legend Corps are giant war machines from the Jack Empire. They are moving in turn and send 4 units to advance towards this territory. They will attack the team's area within the next 2 hours. But without a commander. Called the leading server, it seems that this match is quite easy for them to win. Seeing the opportunity, order the Legend ambush team to take down. The more enemy forces, the better. When the team shoots Juliet note, Lena finally managed to get in touch with them. Ready to issue a stop order. Legend. But wait until she opens her mouth to give the order. Shin and his team have launched actions on the front line. Impressed by their initiative, she is comfortable letting them join the Legend lineup. When Legend gets closer, the team fired a barrage of bullets to destroy the enemy in all directions. But everything on the battlefield not always smooth sailing. Scott Ion is a reconnaissance unit of Legend. Designed for long-range attack. They discovered RA and began bombarding with heavy artillery. Shin quickly received a threat and ordered the whole team to disperse, avoid the incoming shells. Lena jumped in to tell them the exact location of Scott Ion. And Xion used her intelligence information to nominate a platoon to go out eliminate those who are detected. But everything is not over yet. When the battle raged more fiercely, Biden acknowledged that there are too many tank units of Legend. Called Lewis appeared. Please decide to handle the Lewis group by yourself, while the family and others focus on the remaining units. Raiden supports the team, clearing the way for Shin. I hope to make an impression on Lena. And it seems the young man has been remarkably successful. Shin specializes in eliminating enemies with speed and precision. So you quickly skim through the long post, defeat them and withdraw before the enemy can counterattack. You have significantly reduced the enemy's numbers, just leaving a few names. It seems that this thing makes Lena idolize you even more. Until dawn, the Legend had to retreat. Leave the Spearhead team in peace, gazing at the dawn after the battle. In the meantime, back to the Republic. A class of Gen Z Alba is listening to the historical version of the war. Got it, brother edited. 9 years ago, the Jack Empire has declared war on San Magnolia. Deploy an army consisting of automatic war machines called Legend. But the Empire soon lost control and within 5 years, they have been destroyed by their own creations. People believe the Legend has a hard-coded lifespan of 50,000 hours. That is about 6 years. Means all military forces will cease operations within the next 2 years. The students are informed they just need to persevere for a few years until the war is over, but without any casualties. Thanks to the automatic note Dujek of the Republic. It is another blatant lie. Lena suddenly interrupted the professor to call out the Republic. The on-site revelation of the Dujek note is completely not automatic. She explains the true history of the Republic. The establishment of 85 administrative areas for Alba and the racially segregated Area 86. Where non-Alba people are forced to live and operate war machines. Instead of being offered to play Fortnite, just scroll to the top like the Gen Z Alba crowd. These people are sent to the front lines but not being paid and often has some acknowledgement. Lena as a hunter will be responsible for commanding these units, and she doesn't want to let the Gens Alba is allowed to live in tranquility, but unaware of the brutal truth behind it. Return to the team base. Spearhead is chilling, playing with cans. And their pet robot is named Fido. Raiden asked the student what he thought about Lena's performance. In the final battle. Shin always maintains a different perspective. So you admit she is very impressive. If you're this good, you must have to grind through LEM files or the Three Kingdoms. Interpretation up to 10,000 hours. Her position very suitable for their response deployment. Proves that she is not just a mobile vase being in the movie, just to be the main character's girlfriend. However, Raiden is still curious, want to see how long she can keep up with them. When Raiden was invited to go play tin can shooting, then a lieutenant called SNO with has brought Cho Xian a piece of cake before sharing with others. She casually asked Shin about the book he was reading. Because you often do that to relieve your soul. After that, Lena contacted the team after a week of silence. Rather rare story because most of the previous hunters cannot withstand the pressure when working with Spearhead for a long time. Shin praised her for her achievements in the recent battle. And Lena politely replied back. But then she raised an issue. Shin submitted the same type of military report since taking over the position of captain. Shin was surprised at what to do. Has any handler ever cared about those reports? But Lena is different. May I ask why you are interested in this situation at the front lines? And Lena responded to her work. As a handleress, the analysis of the strategies and formations of Legento help come up with the most effective coping measures. She makes you be more serious about the report. But Shin keeps teasing him, saying he doesn't know how to read or write, make the whole team laugh heartily. When the whole team continues to chat with Lena, she asked about their time in the military and knowing that Shin's term is about to end. This is your last year, Lep. The team's mechanic called Xian back. While Lena asks you about your plans after leaving the military. I admit you haven't thought about that. And Lena encouraged him to consider the future. Shin just smiled in temporary agreement. Another day, another call from Lena Liv, too. She's used to chatting with the team outside of official missions. Similar to posting a video of her online dating with Shin. A person itching for this is Karina. The lieutenant has the codename Gun Slim. She got extremely angry and stormed out of the room. And another lieutenant mustache. It is called a black dog that must follow the neck. Kira vents her anger at you. And called Lena a white pig because she is Anna's person. She is annoyed because Lena is taking all of Shin's attention. Especially when every day it could be their last day on the battlefield. She hopes Shin will quickly drive Lena away. Just like you did with the previous Henders. Reminded her Shin did not intend to scare Hunter at all. And you definitely won't do that just to soothe her feud with Lena. In addition, she cannot say anything like tease in front of Shin because you will be caught by Cook Gay. Karina, sorry but admit that she could never like Lena. Her hatred towards the Alba people is very profound. Her parents were killed by the Alba soldiers. Those who have used them as target practice. She believes all Alba people are scum the residue and she swears she will never forgive them. After venting her frustration, she left Ria alone. Meanwhile, Lena continued to chat with the team. And spend more time talking with Kai. The girl seems quite optimistic and full of life, even though the unlucky name sounds like a warning from her. They reminisce about a meteor shower they had seen in a battle then, jokingly, they will never see another meteor shower again. Lena said she has never seen a meteor shower. Because the city lights are always on. Obscure all the stars. But in District 1, where 86 is stationed, it is different. The night is always as dark as Sister Dao's life. But at least they can still admire the stars. Curious, Lena asked Keiko if she hated Anna. Kai admitted that she hated what Anna had done to them. But she doesn't believe that all Albanians are bad people. Just like not every 86 person is a good person. Ultimately, she doesn't hate Lena just because she is an Anna. After that, Kai asked why Lena cared about them so much. Lena reveals a soldier from 86 saved her life on the battlefield. When she was young and now she wants to help people like you fight for the country. Kai teased Lena for having an overly naive view of the world. And said she is not suitable to become a Hender. She said 86 did not fight for noble reasons. They are just trying to survive each day. She warned Lena to leave while there was still time. Before she has to regret, and Lena did not say anything in response. Then Lena synchronized with the team. And informed them that Legend is coming soon. Please tell them that they are ready. Ready to engage at a specific grid point. When the team takes position, Lena directed Karina to move 500 meters to her 2 o'clock position. Where she can have a higher vantage point. From there, she can monitor and protect the main attacking force while eliminating the lower units of Legend. Although I don't like Lena but Karina still adheres strictly and moved to the new location. After successfully eliminating the lower units, Karina reports the target has been defeated and move the SWAT outside. However, Lena sees a low unit hiding the follow button. Kai is walking and quickly checking the map. She sees RA Kai going straight into a trap and tried to warn her, but it was too late. Lack of awareness about the map. Kai is stuck and the low unit is approaching her. Leading to the girl's untimely death. After the mission, Lena thanked everyone for their efforts. And I'm sorry for Kai's death. Self-blame because the detailed information about the map was not grasped timely, but before she could finish speaking, Theo. Another lieutenant called Laughingford got angry and interrupted her. You shouted the death of 86 is just a number that Lena can forget when she goes home for dinner. They don't have time for feelings of guilt or her empathy. They just lost a teammate and her feelings will not make Kai come back. Diana wanted to reply, but Theo kept talking. Not like the Alba people. 86 truly cares about their teammates. If the Alba people really care, they did not push 86 into a war, but they have to die like tools. They do not fight because they want to. But that is because of the situation they have to face. Trapped outside the city and forced to fight for survival every day. Theo blames the Alba for millions. Lives lost in the past 9 years and told Lena not to pretend to care when she didn't even bother to ask their real names. Lena started to tear up because she knew Theo was right. Your kindness will not change everything for 86. Theo is still in a frenzy and Raiden is trying to calm him down. But was yelled at by Theo in the face. Accusing you of protecting the white pig is Lena. The situation is becoming increasingly tense until Shin intervened and told Theo to be quiet. It forces you to stop speaking ill. Then Raiden told Lena to cut off communication because currently no AI has emotions. Talking finished. Lena was startled, apologized, and then disconnected. After she left, Tail's anger turned into regret. You admit that you feel useless because you can't help Cayenne. It feels even worse when you get angry because of an Alba kid that I busy in the day CAI died. Until the next day. The team's mood has calmed down. And they told Theo to express his feelings properly and remind you that AI also cares about Cayenne. AI is also suffering like you. That night, Shin continued the gloomy tradition. I asked to carve the name Kai into the personal piece of miss from Zook note. While you are doing this, Lena has contacted you. Previously, she had visited Inez to share her thoughts about the situation. She keeps worrying about 86. Inez casually told Lena to just accept it. View 86 as a unit in some strategic RPG game. If you play, you won't feel heartbroken anymore. She told Lena to just enjoy the privilege of being an ant. Living in the city. Treat yourself to a pudding cake, then disregard all oppression and injustice outside there. However, Lena is not the type to let things go. She still insists on seeing 86 as the people, not just a tool of war. Inez bluntly said, if Lena really considers them as human, she asked for their name right from the start. Inez's words haunted Lena all day long. And that night, she walks to the cemetery of the fallen soldiers of the Republic. That is when she decided to contact Shin. I'm sorry for what happened the day before, as well as for all the misunderstandings in the past. To create a real connection, Miss Yu introduced herself to Shin and told you to share the real names of the member of the Spearhead team. At first, Shin was a little hesitant and explained, being too close to the military authorities is a very dangerous thing for the Hinder. That will work handling their inevitable death nearly impossible. But after a moment of silence, you still list the names of the remaining 20 members among 86 members, including Kai, the person Lena knew by the codename Krut. Lena listened quietly. The profound person engraved each name into the mind. And recognized that they are not just nameless soldiers. After Shin finished speaking, Lena thanks you. And asked if he could call her by the codename. However, Shin still decided to keep his distance. And only called her Major. Then Lena heard a scratching sound and asked Shin what he was doing. You said you are carving Kai's name into a piece of her Jujek note. You explain why 86 doesn't have a proper grave. So your first unit made a pact. They will engrave the names of the fallen comrades into the pieces of Jujek note, and the survivors will carry them until they reach their destination. Finally, Shin is the last survivor of that unit. So you continue this tradition with Spearhead. Lena feels extremely guilty when knowing Shin had done this for 5 years and witnessed the death of 561 people. Including Kai. Shin, remember each person one by one because you have to bear the burden of their name until the end of the journey. Lena apologized again and asked, you can apologize directly to the remaining members of the team. No word is spoken. Please connect Lena with the rest of the team. Let her talk to them. Trying to bridge the gap between her and 86. When Lena walks home, she happened to ask Shin what his brother has been doing lately. Shin did not react, but immediately replied, Suri died 5 years ago. It's just a normal tragic past for you at this time. Lena quickly apologized and feels a bit embarrassed for suddenly bringing that up. She continues the previous question about what Shin intends to do after leaving the military. Shin admitted that he didn't want to do anything special, but there is one thing you have to do. That is what you need to find Suri, the person you have been searching for over the past 5 years. On another day, Lena returns to duty. Commander of the Spearhead team in the battle. Curious, she asked Shin how he always knows when the legend is coming closer. But before you can explain, their connection was cut off. Shin told her to disconnect from the Parars, because Legend has deployed many Black Ship units. This time maintaining synchronization is too dangerous. Lena does not know what Black Ship is. So she stubbornly refused to cut the connection. She insists that she needs it to observe the battlefield. Shin only warned her one more time. Then accelerate towards the Legend. Suddenly Lena's Parars was filled with noise. But it's not just noise, but it is a horrifying blend of voices, screams and prayers before dying. Lena turned pale. Overwhelmed by the chaos of the savage cries. She screamed and couldn't hear Shin trying to approach her. Finally she escaped from the panic when hearing Kai's voice, please don't die. After returning home, Lena could not forget Kai's voice. She is sitting on the bed, still trembling and trying to write it in the notebook. However, when she reached for the Parars, the voices came rushing back. Overwhelming her senses, distort everything around. She panicked and prayed those voices stopped. Until the voice of Kai chaotic horizontal. Help her calm down and everything eventually returns to normal. In that battle, Shin also heard voices. The reason Lena can hear them is because Shin is live streaming sensor data through Parist. Link their senses. Without hesitation, Shin Lao charged into the enemy's 5th line, bombarding Legend. Raiden heard Lena scream through the Parist and feel a little sorry for the girl. You and the others also heard the voices when synchronizing with Shin. The moment Shin was about to disconnect from Lena, then Kai's voice echoed once again. The whole team is holding on to the person because the bodies of Kai and Jujeknot have been burned to ashes. So how could that happen? Somehow, the Legend captured her and turned her into one of their Rowood units. Shin quickly identifies which rogue guff is Kai and order Kira to eliminate it. Then Raiden said to Shin the whole team feels lonely because Lena doesn't bother to call them. Shin smirked in response. Most hunters never synchronize again after hearing those voices and decided to give up. But at that moment, Lena unexpectedly called Cho Shin Raiden because Lena hasn't given up. I'm sorry for the way I acted when hearing those voices and asked Shin what they are. Shin explained that it was the voice of the dead, still lingering with the ghosts of legend. Finally, Lena understands why Shin always feels when legend approaches. You can hear that voice even while sleeping. Although not always accurately determine their location, but you have gotten used to it over time. After that, the Republic mentions that the war will end after 2 years. Lena confirms this matter and say the central processing units of legend simulated according to the human brain and it will stop operating after about 2 years. But Xian just pointed out legend can replace their processing units before they expire by using the resources they collect 10 gained from the battlefield. This story includes a human brain that was left behind. That means legend basically they are repurposing the human mind for their army. Lena was horrified when she found out a few units the legend can still preserve the voice and memory of the dead. Then replay their last moments. Metaphorically, they are the black sheep hidden among the white sheep. But with the increasing prevalence of black sheep more than ever, I predict they will soon lose this battle. Legends can endlessly replace those who go to battle with these black sheep units. But 86 cannot do that because they are human. Most 86 are people who have died and the rest are mainly children. And even the kids are being dragged to the front lines. It won't be long before everything is wiped out in this war. When that happens, I would like to ask if the person is ready to fight. The Republic is too delusional to think 86. I will also be lucky like Shin, but the reality is much bleaker. Many black sheep can only follow simple commands. But cell phone can think independently and take command. Shin could also hear them and you know there is a person hiding near the first front line. You hold the bag on your chest tightly when mentioning that and Lena had sworn will do everything possible to analyze the enemy and develop strategies to eliminate them before legend wiped out 86. She told Xian she wanted them all to survive. Acknowledge her determination and say good luck along with wishing her a good night. The war continues and everything seems not very promising. A soldier with the codename Pearl Tail has been cornered by legend. She calls for help from the 6th platoon but they are busy dealing with their own mess. Rhea decided to be a hero and ran to help her. But before you could get there then a Kamika group of legend has attached itself to your Uziek node, then explode, causing you to log out permanently. When the beard is gone Puntal received her she is all alone and has no support anymore. Do not want to become a member of legend. She decided to end her own life shooting myself in the head to avoid becoming a mindless machine. After the battle, Shin came to check Uziek's note on Rhea. You contact Lena and tell her to cut the parade connection because you don't want her to see what will happen next. However, Lena refuses but insists that this is the minimum she must do as their hunter. Shin is determined to ensure that the mustache does not become a legend. Pull out the gun and shoot him in the head to destroy his brain. Suddenly Shin heard the voice of Sheree provoked a painful memory in you. You return on the day Suri choked you and blame you for the death of their parents. The memory of his brother's angry face still haunts him. When the legend unit of Suri advances, please try aiming the gun at Suri's unit. But your body is paralyzed, cannot pull the trigger because forever immersed in the image of Suri's anger. Meanwhile, Lena went to report 2 casualties to the general of the police station. She wants to be allowed to expand their artillery range. To support Spearhead from the rear with the hope of reducing casualties in the future. But the extra responded succinctly with one word: no. He is only talking about a new mission for the Spearhead team. The Republic has confirmed the legend has established a new operating base near the front lines. And wants Spearhead to eliminate it immediately. Lena asked if they could find a replacement first. But the others scolded her to be quiet again and tell them they have no time to waste. The whole team must act right now, if not, they will regret it later. 7 hopes, but no other choice. Lena agreed to continue the mission. That night, Lena summarized for Spear to shout about their new mission. I'm sorry for not having a replacement and making a joke. There are also no nuclear weapons to support them. Shinchin said they knew about the legend base. And suspect this is a trap. A few days later, the Spearhead team sets out to carry out their mission. Fully aware that I am entering a trap is set. Please remind everyone, the base is just bait, and they should be ready for the ambushers hiding in the surrounding area. The plan is very simple. That is to lure legend out and then let Squad 4 open fire to eliminate the targets. When the whole team attacked, everything quickly went wrong. The ambushers revealed themselves, and it turned out this time, they have a new strategy. A type of long-range artillery can eliminate military rule everywhere. The army quickly encountered casualties and Lena is watching the battle-urgent analysis of the weapon's position but could not find a way for his troops to escape. She became even more panicked when she realized their team was being overwhelmed. In the midst of chaos, Shin suddenly saw Suri's face. At first, you were startled. But then you smiled, a warm smile and bitter. Lena felt that the situation was extremely unfavorable for them. And madly demanded to cancel the mission, order the troops to retreat. She swears she will provide more personnel for Spearhead. And promised that the authorities are planning to send reinforcements soon. However, Shin is a very practical Capricorn. So, I'll say it clearly, no ghosts will come to help them at all. The Republic will not send any AI until the current army is completely wiped out. Biden supports you and explained the Republic has no intention of letting any AI out of District 86. They promised to release them after 5 years of Entry 5. But it is another lie. They had to be stuck here, bear the artillery from Legend until each person falls down. Lionel doesn't want to believe that. And still struggle to accept this harsh reality. Raiden said the Republic is very afraid of the AIs from District 86 surviving. Because they suspect they will return, start a rebellion. So they continue to send District 86 to carry out the mission suicide at the front. Lenito ensure they will not survive to return. Finally, Lena understands RA. The Republic does not send 86 RA to the front lines to protect Albed, i.e. sending them to die. Receiving that news made Lena feel pain and her voice trembled. When she tries to process this information. She asked if the Spearhead team knew about this from the beginning. And they confirm. They knew from the very beginning without AI, going to the battlefield will return. That is the brutal secret that the people in AI District 86 also know. A secret that they accept as reality, the cruelty of oneself. Shin returns after collecting 10 cards from his teammates. It has been a long time since the battle, but there is another issue. You can't find a Juliet note and tell Raiden about it. Raiden wants to keep his friend's spirit up. So you told Shin that it wasn't your fault. Shin tried to smile lightly, but their feeling of loss still doesn't go away at all. A few days have passed and the whole team is still waiting for new orders to continue the mission. Raiden and Xian discuss the recent casualties. And Xian predicts that the Republic will soon collapse. However, do you believe Lena will continue to fight before that happens? Shin also casually said he had found Surid. It means that Suri has also found you. And will come to find you. For Shin, that's good news for you. Has been searching for Suri for many years. But you know that other people are not as lucky as that. You asked Raiden what they will do about this. And Raiden remains loyal, saying they will follow Shin to the end. Shin smiles. Appreciate the unconditional support of my teammates. Return to the city. Lena is still digging by herself. She found the special order for the Spearhead mission and her heart sank right after that. The target is deep within the territory of Legend. Time to complete the task marked as unlimited and there is no support at all. Including the Brandy-Ter missile. Worse still, if they withdraw, they will be annihilated. Lena immediately receives RA. Everything that the Spearhead team has said is true. The Republic is sending them on a suicide mission. Indignant, she came to meet Inez hoping to get help. But Anna said they cannot do anything in this case. Lena angrily shouted at Anna, "Don't act like a useless and helpless child anymore." And also snapped back and told Lena not to act as if she is innocent when she is also guilty. She took Lena to the window and pointed at the neighbor's house, revealing who those neighbors used to be. A scientist works in her father's research team. Their family is very close, but everything changed when the war broke out because the neighbors all belong to District 86. There are 2 sons. An older person. A person of the same age. She also studied at the same school and played with her. However, when the 86 people were kicked out, your classmate bullies Ines because she is their friend. She wants to help her friend 86. But when you want to keep playing, then she does not accept you and they fought. When her father suggested they help their neighbors, Ines still won't agree, and according to what she said, has betrayed those 86 people. Her father also agreed, and the next day, their neighbors have lost all social benefits and was taken to the nearest re-education camp. Ines tried to justify Min's actions. And said she was just a child, cannot do anything. But Lena's sense of guilt still attacked her fiercely. She accused Lena of pretending to be a good person while she has always been an accomplice from the beginning. Anand then took Lena to an old research room. And explained that the neighbors have a strange power. They can share thoughts and feelings without needing to talk. Ms. Cho showed Lena the device they used to test and experiment with this power. Everything is like a game. But when the army discovered Ray, they have asked father of Inez's developed a communication device that simulates this capability. The main result is the Paris device that they are currently using. Inez threw her back to Lena. Ask her if she knows how many people there are. 86 must die to perfect this technology, and intended to blame her for everything. After that, Lena told Shin to run away so he wouldn't die on the mission. But Shin replied that in the end, AI will die anyway. You insist you and your teammates did not participate in this mission to die. They are walking down the road to true freedom. Additionally, you joked that they have the aura of the main character. So it won't die. Please don't fight. But she knows Shin must keep moving forward. She knows you are in pain, even though you only smile indifferently whenever talking about Suri. Deep inside, she doesn't want Shin to fight with Suri. Even when you are now a part of Legend. However, Shin is very determined. Suri is a server and never will be. Shin easily let him escape. You told Lena you don't need to follow or contact them anymore. You don't want her to hear Suri's last words. This situation makes Lena feel painful and she realizes she is about to lose something. Shin collapsed onto the table in despair. Please tell you and the Spearhead team to add more time for the Republic. By defeating a Liverpool of legends and Lena needs to survive until then. The next day, the remaining members of Spearhead Shin, Biden and the lieutenant are preparing to leave District 1 forever. They said goodbye to the mechanic and the engineer who were staying behind. Lep kindly gave them some food to say goodbye and they climbed onto the bus. Jujek note brings according to Fida during the trip. The whole group set off to face any terrible events that follow war can bring. On September 28, the Spearhead team will face Black Ship. Shin did not take long to find Suri. Suri immediately discovered R.A. Shin and shouted, the furious sound make the others in the team startled. But Shin just smiled. As if you had been waiting for this moment for a long time. You told your friends to hide in the forest, the place where legend will not be able to detect R.A. them. Raiden worriedly asked Shin what he was going to do. And Shin calmly said he would catch up with them after you finish dealing with Suri. Raiden sensed an ominous sign. But you still decided to stop other legend units while Xian deals with his brother. When legend starts shooting, Raiden told Xian to return safely. Shin found the location of Suri, and Suri immediately switched to Goblin mode. Fire a series of bullets at you. Shin dodges the shots and counterattacks. But your attacks hardly did anything. Unit of Suri Dino so because it is much stronger than the usual legend units. Shin was worried, but he still wouldn't back down. Another nearby legend unit attempted to attack Shin. But Suri destroyed it first because he wants to keep Shincho for himself. Shin smiled because it looked very much like Suri. This is really their own battle. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is still fighting. But everything gradually became more tense. Running out of bullets and calling for the person to take cover while he reloads. Everyone is also worried that they might run out of ammunition soon. Suddenly Lena contacted Raiden to demand his left eye. A little while later, shells fell and took down a few legends. Lena accessed Raiden's image feed. To accurately identify the objectives and provide fire support. She also apologizes for being late. However, Raiden got angry again because she used his eyes to share such image data is very dangerous. Because it can blind the operator. Lena no longer cares about that. Because the sap is not the important thing right now and she developed a dislike for the Republic. If they do not listen to reason, she will do everything possible to support the Spearhead team. Previously, Lena went to see Inez to ask for help. Access the artillery control system and synchronize the vision. Inez is still upset about the argument earlier. So, at first, she didn't agree, but Lena did not back down. She confronts Anse and asked if the boy she abandoned was Shin. And was stunned when she heard his name. Lena said Shin is in her unit. And your codename is Undertaker. She also showed Inez a sketch that she had drawn Shin's face. Inez is both conflicted and worried. Still doesn't know if she should help them or not. Lena decided to take RA choose for her. Help them right now or abandon Shin for the third time. And accepted that Lena was not joking and called her a devil. Lena also didn't hesitate to accept it right away. Both of them are the same. Back on the battlefield, Lena asked where Raiden Shin was. Raiden said Shin is stuck in a battle with Suri. To achieve your true goals. That is making you unable to hear the voices of the dead anymore. When the battle between the two brothers rages fiercely, Shin felt a strange sense of satisfaction. You move through the trees. Use them as a shield to jump on Dinoso slashed it with the Jujek sword. You shoot Suri. Like your shots being blocked by a shield has transformed into the arm grabbed Shin's Jujek note and threw it aside. Disconnect your parist during this process. The other black ships withdrew for the rest of the fleet. Spear needs a little time to breathe. But after that they saw Shin's offline status and panicked tried to contact you through the image feed. They saw Suri approaching Shin and tried to find a way to handle it. Lena told Kurina to provide end-to-end guidance to you can drop fireworks at Suri's position. Others hesitated, fearing she would also hit Shin. But Lena insists she has a plan she trusts. Corona is implemented according to the schedule. Meanwhile, Suri is currently hovering over Shin. Shin's node is too fragile. And he has held back a lot in their fight. He said he doesn't want to hurt Shin. And promised to apologize for everything later. Currently I am just happy to have Shin by my side like in the old days. You ramble about rereading the legend of the Night No Head for Shin. But to do those things first, you need to get rid of Shin's human body. When Suri is about to act, Kurina put a note in the dinosaur. Shift the focus to her but then saw a missile diving down. They were scared that RA couldn't let Shin get hurt. So he used Corona's Jujek note to push back. Shin Ra's note keeps Jujek out of danger. Will protect Shin at all costs. This matter puts Suri into an illusion, the place where he continuously repeats his vows to a girl behind. I told him I love Shin. The girl asked why you want to hurt Shin if you I really love you so much. Suri turned around and saw Shin lying behind the little girl. And you collapsed in confusion. The girl slapped him. Pull me back to reality the moment the missile hits the target. Luck is this missile is ineffective and only injures dinosaurs but cannot completely destroy it. Suri still does not back down. And the spearhead team knows they need to act quickly. They tried to wake Xian up. I saw your powers flickering and then turning off. Shin finally woke up. When hearing Suri's voice. Overwhelming, you feel like Suri is choking you again. Blame you for the death of their parents. Shin couldn't stop seeing Suri's angry face. And I believe my brother still hasn't forgiven you. Lena Chen's voice spoke to Shin. It is time for them to let Suri rest. Shin regained his composure and started. Juliet, note, the last time you charged into the dinosaur, ready to finish it off. Suri tried to counterattack with a robotic armand with Tara to catch Shin. But Shin was determined to say goodbye and shoot Suri. In the final moment, Suri reminisces about the old days and realized Shin no longer needed him. He touched Shin's face one last time and said I'm sorry. This surprised Shin, and he and Tara helped him. But it is too late. Dinoso exploded and Shin had to jump back. Watching it fall in endless sorrow. Finally, you also remember Suri's happy face. And all their precious moments. I can't help but cry when the memories come rushing back. Your team quietly watched Suri's unit burn. And please mourn for my brother. Until dawn. The battle has ended and their mood has returned to calm. The whole team is satisfied with the result. And know what they had to do. Lena contacts Inez. The battle has ended and Shin is safe thanks to her. Inez is back to his scandalous ways. She said she didn't save him and then left. After that, Lena synchronized with the whole team to thank them for working hard. Shin also thanks her. And the others in the team talk to her, teasing her for breaking military rules. Even Corona praises Lena. Because they were serious in the battle and everyone thanked her for saving their lives and help Suri rest in peace. After that, the whole team talked about finding a place to rest and repaired their Jujek note before continuing the journey. They said goodbye to Lena. I hope you can support the next team. As you did for them. Lena didn't want to let them go, so she tried to stop them. When she saw their signal moving off the radar. They reassure her they chose this path themselves and towards a part of the map marked as undefined. Lena was left alone, not knowing what else to do. She runs outside crying on the street as she watched them disappear. The spearhead team said their final goodbye and disconnected, leaving Lena kneeling, overwhelmed with emotions and tears. The spearhead team continues to move through the land that has been reclaimed. A ghost land where no AI lives anymore. Finally, they walked through a peaceful flower field and decided to rest. Raiden, take that moment to ask Xian about your plans after leaving the military. Shin just shrugged and said he had no plans at all. That night, everyone sat together, reminiscing and laughing about past experiences. Shin seems especially happy, so he even tells jokes. But the family still feels a bit worried after a moment of silence. Shin was the first to fall asleep. First time after 9 years. You seem to look peaceful. Your teammates see that you look much better. Your expression is gentler and you also laugh more often. They commented Shin seems to have finally found peace. Because you have completed the 5-year goal of finding Suri. Everyone knows Shin has gone through so much. The loneliness of witnessing a former teammate being killed and the burden must be carried on by oneself. But being close to Lena and have the opportunity to say goodbye while she is still Elevite seems to have lightened that burden for you. Biden quietly said Shin has finally found freedom. But that also makes you worried. Shin has been under control for too long. The point that now Raiden is curious, does Shin still want to continue living? On the morning of October 14th, Shin woke up earlier than the others and quietly left. When the whole team wakes up and realizes Shin is missing, they began to worry. They spread out to search for you and finally found you a moment later standing in front of a legend unit and just sit there motionless. Raiden hurriedly rushed in, terrified. Between Shin and Legend, asking what the hell you are doing. Shin calmly explains. This legend unit has been injured and is no longer a threat. You told Raiden you heard it calling you the day before from Parars. Shin realized that it used to be a person who was 86 before. When being occupied by Legend. When you get closer. Shin told Raiden that Legend wants to go home. You pull out the gun, are ready to give it a peaceful shot to the head. The next day, the spearhead team continued their journey. But it is clear that their equipment is experiencing problems. A Dujek note attached to a carriage of Fido and the other machines look too old to continue. Even Fido when they walk along the cliff edge. They slowed down to watch for any threats. After a while, Shin felt bored and asked RIO.AT this moment, I am driving the Juliet note, can they swap places with each other, because you didn't bring anything to read and need something to do. After changing places, Shin suddenly moved. You cut the connections of the USEC note with the carriage. The rest of the team. You hit the rock wall, causing a landslide blocking the way between you and your friends. Raiden just got angry and panicked, jumping out of the train car to try to chase Theo Shin. Like the rocks have made that impossible. Through Parars. Shin said there is a legend unit ahead. But they will not be able to avoid regardless of what they do. You plan to handle it yourself and tell them to hide in the forest, the place where legend cannot find them. If they continue to move forward, then they will finally escape. Your friends are very angry. But no AI can do anything to stop you. That night, Shin fought against legend. You are quick and accurate, darting through the enemy's line. But your attacks hardly harms legend's longevity. The gang has retreated and Shin quickly realized they are preparing for an attack. Long-range cannon. Although the cannon did not hit the target directly, but the shockwave caused Shin's note to fall to the ground. Meanwhile, the rest of the spearhead team won't sit still. And decided to pursue Shin together. Shin stood up but suddenly saw the image of Selford. Unit commander. Selford with a cold voice, I declare that I will kill any AI that dares to threaten Princess Shin. Attacked by a series of memories from Selford's past. Showing how he has been assimilated into legend and war. Sephon continues to shoot. Each cannon shot knocks down instantly a few of our troops during this process. Please try to stand up. But your notebook is severely damaged, cannot move. You were scared when you saw a castle approaching. And the thought of becoming a part of legend scares him. So you were determined to leave in your own way. The moment you were about to end everything, your friends arrived. They fired a test shot to distract the attention of the castle. Hearing their voices made Shin feel relieved. But you know they don't have enough strength to fight against legend. When the gunfight continues, a long mouse tries to open the door of the room. Shin's Jujek note and other legend troops began to flood into the area. The whole team continues to shoot, but Theo ran out of bullets at a crucial moment. While loading the ammunition, some mines have approached you and exploded. Causing you serious injury. Although the situation is very critical, but your friends continue to shoot until finally they were overwhelmed by the enemy. One day before the incident occurred, Lena visited the base spearhead in District 1. When she explores the vacant lot, she found a notebook with a note inside Dean Sidiao scribbled below. They have also written a few sincere messages and signed their names. Lena found a photo of the whole team together that made her smile. But that joy is extremely bitter. She knows they are no longer there, and when she held the piece of paper, she couldn't hold back her tears. Return to the battlefield and sink into a dream. In that dream, Suri wakes you up when you were still a child. Gently, I'm sorry for calling you all the way out here. He held up an open book, and when it fell down, Suri became a knight. He lifted Shin up like a real bodyguard. After a while of walking, Suri gently placed the gun down and said, this is the last journey you can take. Suri said to Shin, you can go the rest of the way by yourself. In the end, you have your own teammates. Shin has grown up a lot, and should not let the memories of the past haunt me anymore. But Shin felt sad and didn't want to leave Suri. Suri continues step by step, remind Shin to think of me sometimes, but must also live freely and seek one's own happiness. Shin tried to catch up with his brother. But no matter how fast you run, then you cannot get any closer and has been stuck in place. You desperately called Suri with Tara and brother. Suddenly Shin's eyes widened and he saw himself in a medical facility. Lost direction. You see the people wearing protective clothing. Look through the window to see my room. Before you can understand what is happening, the door opened and a young man stepped in. That is the President of the Federal Republic of Rap. We introduce ourselves and talk to Shin. They found you and your friends after legend defeated and captured them. Shin's heart sank. When memories of the battlefield rush back. The friends who have lain motionless on your ground. The rising panic within you until the left windows become transparent and reveal your friends are still alive and healthy. Looking back at you. Then everyone talked about their final battle. The whole group scolded Shin for making them worried. When charging into battle alone. Shin is embarrassed. Sorry for knowing that I made them scared. A month has passed and us officially welcomed them to the Federation as an official citizen. The whole team showed suspicion. I don't understand why Ons is willing to accept them. But he explained that the Federation always accepts everyone he doesn't need a reason to bring the kids into his country. Then Ons said he would be their guardian from now on. To ensure their safety. The 5 of them are no longer head spies. Now they are members of RAP. Starting a new chapter of my life. Meanwhile, Federal Lieutenant Colonels report to Ons about the recall of Yusa's note of 86 and their impressive combat diary. They were amazed at the team's skills. And interested in working with them. However, he immediately rejected that idea. He is determined not to let 86 become the operating unit anymore. Because he did not want to repeat the mistakes of the San Magnolia Republic. Instead, he wanted to repay them with peace. That they have fought long to obtain. Then Ons took the team home. On the way, they walked through the bustling streets of the city and watching people walk by enjoy the simple pleasures that they have long been deprived of. They look out the car window. And discovered that the protesters were gathering to save 86 people are still trapped in the Republic. A sign indicating this country could really be an ideal place for them to stay. When they come to the house, Ons Mr. Gyoithyu introduced them to his adopted daughter, Fatherika. She warmly welcomed them. He later revealed that he had also adopted them. Treat them like your own children. This unexpected gesture left the whole team speechless. But still grateful. That night, Us visited Xian in his room. And give you Suri's card. The thing they found in your Jujek note. Time passes and 86 words from trying to adapt to their new life in the Federation, they are exploring the city. Try new things and experience ordinary life. Something they have never truly known. Shin is spending time at the public library with Fatherika. The place where they met a young man named Aga and your little sister? Shin still feels a bit strange when being around normal people. But you are gradually getting used to that. One Frederica took Shin to the market. Shin, you play a game and get her a teddy bear. Shin is not interested, so he tries to ignore her. But Frederica still knows how to drive him crazy. She pouts and does all sorts of things, spouting and begging and all that, until Shin finally gives in. With a long sigh. Although they have tried to integrate, but the craving for battle never really disappears. Kira felt particularly restless. And she confided in others she is tired of this peaceful life. She wants to return to the battlefield, where they all see themselves having a purpose. No surprise. The remaining members of the team all agreed. Everyone remembers the place of death. Not long after, they approached Ons and said they wanted to return to the front lines. They were worried and tried to persuade them. He wants them to enjoy the newfound peace. But not to rush headlong into danger. Fatherika also stepped in to speak up. If Us forces them to live a life they do not want, then he is no different from the Republic. She said they should be allowed to choose their own path. Understanding her perspective, Ons reluctantly agreed to let them return to the military, but with that condition is first and foremost they need to go through military academy. By that way, when the war finally ends, they will have a better life ahead. Fatherika supports him and urges them to accept the agreement because life has many more things as the reward they receive thanks to their combat skills. I would like to see this speech where she is called a princess. But Fatherika revealed a shocking truth: she is not an ordinary princess. But is the last queen of the Jack Empire. The very empire that created legend has destroyed their family. The whole team was stunned. But no one wants to blame her because she is just a child when everything happens. Fatherika continued speaking. She admires their pride and asked if she could go with them. She has a special mission to save Kiria. Her knight died in battle and was occupied by the Legion. She revealed that Kiria is the super-attacked Shin before the Federation rescued them. Shin skeptically asked how she could know about that. Then Fatherika revealed her unique ability. She can see the past and present of everyone. After enrolling at military academy, please cooperate with again in the tactical practice sessions. For these exercises, they use new war machines called Baganas. They are slightly different from the Dujek node that they used before. During a practice session, everything unfolded in a rather unexpected direction. SEO is controlling another out-of-control Baganer. And your machine slid towards Shin. Quick action. Shin performs a daring but extremely impressive maneuver. Avoid the oncoming machine just in time to avoid a collision. Even if it prevents accidents, but because this fan is too close to a star, so both were seen. Ejin and the Kia couple both have to listen to the general chew on ear ringing. The whole group was scolded thoroughly. But Xian was finally praised for her quick reflexes. Save them from the accident. This is not exactly how they want to end the training session. But at least they learned a valuable lesson. After that, Lieutenant Gates, the commander of the Nari team, invites Shin and his friends to go out for a trip to a newly cleared land nearby. When they arrived, they were surprised to see a memorial site for teammates only has fallen onto the Dujanot branches. Their old ones are lined up like soldiers on guard. Silence, and there is a stone statue, the names of all the fallen comrades, honoring their sacrifice. It also has the box. Place to store the cards of teammates carefully preserved. This location has had a strong impact on the whole group. Make them feel a full range of emotions. They were moved by the efforts to commemorate those who have fallen, and thanks to Chris for bringing them here. Chris smiled and officially welcomed them to her team, proving that they are no longer alone because they are a part of something much larger. The moment they are immersed, Fatherika has appeared with Fido, Shin's loyal pet robot. It turns out Red has found Fido and restored Fido, giving it a new look. Shin was startled. Because you never thought you would see the video again. Don't even mention the possibility of the video working again. The video is still fun as always. Immediately receive Ra Shin and jump to his side. Run up with joy. Shin couldn't hold it in. And smiled when you reconnected with your old teammates. That night, Father Rika sneaked into Shin's room to chat. She said you remind her of her old knight Kiria. She describes Kiria as a member of the Nuzan clan. You look like Shin and also resemble him. You are always serious but never get angry with her. No matter how much she teases you. To understand more thoroughly. She also sketched a drawing of Kira for you to see. Fatherika said that Kiria is a very law-abiding person, always do everything the right way, and according to the processo if you are still alive you and Shin will definitely be like cats and dogs. Please make them some coffee and be curious about Kiria's past. He asked why Kiria rejoined legend. Fatherika takes a moment before explaining after the Empire attack the Federal Republic was established to resist the Empire. To respond that Empire has retreated to a fortress near one of their borders. Try to hold the front line. But the Federation has caught up with the man. It turned into a bloodshed war become living among countless dead. Kira is stuck and must fight in desperation to protect Fatherika. Continuous loss around you has caused consequences. And finally, you go crazy when witnessing everyone you know is dead. There is nothing left, you have dedicated your life to Fatherika. However, everything got worse when the fortress collapsed. We stepped in to grab Fatherika and hide her away to keep her safe. To conceal her escape. He lied and said she was dead. He also presented the imperial cloak of hers as evidence. When Kiria saw the cloak. You have been devastated because you truly believe Fatherika is gone. No will to escape. You only stand there when legend arrives to inspect the area. Let them catch you. That is how you become a part of legend. Fatherika blames himself for that. She looked into Shin's eyes and said if everything was too dangerous then you must run away. She fears that you will end up like Kiria and fall into the hands of legend. She doesn't want to lose you both. Fatherika told Shin that he has a future worth protecting. What you know he hasn't really thought about yet. She doesn't want you to throw it away for anything. A few days later, Xian wakes up. Biden woke up with a serious expression. And say legend is acting. They quickly discuss the figures and assess the situation on their front line. Please admit you are used to hearing the voice of Black Ship. But this time, the feeling is much worse. You told Raiden not to sync with you this time and Raiden understood that RA was different this time. And it is better that they should not take risks. Grandma is monitoring the situation. Check her radar and see the Western Front as being protected by a neighboring country has become extremely chaotic. Their forces are being wiped out and the same thing is happening in other allied countries. Everyone is trying to gather their forces. But it seems like they are not sure if they can hold the front line or not. Please contact Chris. And she immediately asked about your situation and is the team ready to launch? Please confirm that everything is ready. Chris was surprised because she hadn't had time to give them the impression. She told them to hold the line until other units can take their positions. Shin smiled and nodded confidently, ready to take action. Noli team, move forward. And collaborate with another team that is trying to stop legend. Shin quickly ordered the allied forces to retreat. And gather together. You said they would extend the time for them. Regilin has been upgraded. War machine just designed by Red's group. The Noli team is a formidable force. These improved machines allow them to accurately identify the legend units at the back. And fire many rockets at the same time. They can identify targets for long-range attacks. It gives them a significant tactical advantage. Because he is a sharpshooter. You decided to use the ruins to create an advantage for oneself. Move through the ruins and sniper the enemy from above. When the team advances, a unit of the allied forces also came to request that they cease fire. Combat Commander, thank you, Shin and your team, for holding the line until the remaining units can participate in combat. He suggested they withdraw and support from the back. But I warn you, what they face is just the vanguard. The main force of legend is still on the way. If they withdraw right now, their entire combat area will collapse. Instead, I propose that the Noli team block the main attack. And break their progress. Don't miss a beat, you command the team to follow you. They quickly reached the main lineup of legend and immediately opened fire. Fired a barrage that shattered the enemy's advance. The battle is fiercer than ever. When the main forces of legend arrive and both sides began to unleash chaotic firepower. Return to base. Fatherika is doing his best to use power to locate Kiria because I know you are the one guiding this main force. She is determined to lead the team to you. Close your eyes and try to find his position. And synchronize with Shin to communicate information. But when she connects, she saw a gruesome image of Kiria laughing wildly while you fight. It's like you've lost your mind. The sight of you in that state horrified Fatherika. And she tried to warn Shin. Please don't continue. However, Shin was too immersed in the battle. And you disconnected from everyone. Completely caught up in the feeling of excitement when fighting with Legend. Like there is nothing else important at all. Whether you live or die, you are just there to take down as many enemies as possible. Shin Lao enters the battle. Tear apart the enemies of Legend with close-range attacks. Move with extreme recklessness. You move into the lower area, take down each unit one by one until you escape. Exhausted but satisfied with my victory on Legend withdrew. Cress ordered the team to return to base. When they returned, Fatherika was clearly extremely angry with Shin. She confronted him. You are acting just like Kiria. And burst into tears as she clung to him. Shin said nothing and just quietly stroked her head, comforting her in the only way he knew how. One night, I was summoned to the general's office. The general went straight to the point and asked Xian, can you hear Legend's voice? Please say yes, and to prove that, you only show the nearby territories, the place where the Legend forces are currently hiding. Impressive general. After that, appoint Xing commanding an important offensive operation, but the allied nations, including the Republic of San Magnolia, has signed. This mission is for Noli to take down Carrie's unit. Is called Moro. A giant electronic machine gun poses a serious threat. Chris immediately opposed when he overheard the plan. She is worried about the children and the argument that this mission could get them killed. Why a group of young children the year must participate in this type of mission? She opposes, but when the general and Chris were exchanging words, Shin's attention drifted away. You hear familiar voice off the teammates whispered to you from the past. They say the reason they have to do this is very simple. Because they are 86. Shin glanced over his shoulder and startled when he saw them. Your old teammates are standing right behind you. They are telling funny jokes. Laughing at the argument between the general and Red. Just like in the old days, they remind Xian that they have lived and died with pride. And they thank you because it carries their memories and bodies throughout this journey. One by one they gradually disappeared, leaving behind their codenames. Seeing them leave made Shin very heartbroken. You have carried their burden of loss for too long, and now you feel like everyone is leaving you behind. The moment you are about to sink into sorrow, you catch a glimpse of Lena. She stepped forward and said she would never forget you. That is just a small consolation. But it raises Shin's spirits. You find comfort in this task. This offensive campaign, it could be an opportunity for you to reunite with your teammates if things don't go as expected. With that thought, Shin turned to Lena and said goodbye. Then Red gathered the team and the engineers take them to an old hangar of the operational base. Inside, she shows them Naraira. A prototype ground effect aircraft. It will be the ticket that takes them to Marvel. The plan is to use this plane to fly low under the radar. Help them reach their goals faster and more secretive than the usual route. With the ability to sense the legend of Shin and Gran's flying skills, they can come to Mofo without too much difficulty. But there is one noteworthy point, that Naraira cannot turn back quickly. Therefore, they will need to avoid any ambushes along the way. Fatherika is not happy about this plan. They can destroy Marvel. But in the end got stuck in the territory of Legend, but there is no way out. However, Shin was not shaken at all. You said the priority of the mission is to eliminate Mofo. Everything else can be dealt with later. If they can escape, that would be good. If not, then that is just the life of a soldier. Fatherika knows you are right. But that didn't make her less worried. Then Shin visited Fatherika in her room. She was ordered to return to the base in the city. But she resolutely refused to leave. May I ask why you are so stubborn? When she is the one who wants to save Kiria, you assure her that you remember Kiria's voice. Because of that, her presence is not necessary for this task. If you keep insisting that Noli does not move forward, then perhaps she really doesn't want to help. You told her to go home. But Fatherika remains stubborn and won't give in. She admits she wants to take down Kiria just like Shin defeated Surei. But she is afraid that Shin will carry out this mission, then you will have a fate similar to Kiria and she will be left alone again. Please calmly say that you are not Kiria, you didn't do these things for her. This only makes Fatherika more frustrated. And she yelled in his face, for what he had done you have to endure in the way that Surei did you have to endure. Shin turned away, but Fatherika had grabbed his hand, with tears streaming down the cheeks. Please don't go. She cannot stand it losing another brother. Shin said nothing more and just let her hold him for a while. 1 month later, their Regilan team moves towards Najira, preparing to depart in 30 minutes. Red stepped up to motivate the whole team. Remind them to do their best to return safely. She admits that although they may be 86, but they are still just a bunch of kids. Fighting can be their pride. But protecting them is her pride. Before they take off, I contacted them to wish them good luck, and remind them to do their best. You straightforwardly said you didn't want them to die because if they die then you will lose all reason and destroy the world. You command them directly and tell them they must survive and return. Everyone must return. Especially if they intend to fight to the end. The whole team doesn't dare to promise that they will survive, but they still agree. When Nejira approached Mofo, it was suddenly ambushed by a group of legend units. Red stays calm under pressure, decided to drop the team down early before they arrive at the designated location. She thinks they can continue the mission. While she and the rest of the crew prevent the legend units. Shin expresses concern about the matter. This definitely is not part of the plan, but Red assures you she knows what she's doing. After dropping them off, the whole team moves forward. Use Shin's keen senses to guide them closer to Mofo. On the way, they are blocked by many legend units but still try to defend by attacking the enemy with missiles. Finally, they discovered that RA Mofo was still being repaired. And immediately report to headquarters. They received the order to attack and blast the Mofo with all the firepower. However, even in a damaged state, the Mofo is still extremely dangerous. It began to move, showing its strength. When the battle gets more intense, Shin heard Kiria's voice. Mocking you repeatedly, he will kill Cho Shin. The Mofo raises the giant taser gun ready to shoot. But then suddenly stopped. Fetherica urgently contacts Shin, and say what you are seeing is not the real Kiria. Shin quickly swept the Mofo and realized she was right. This is not the real Mofo. You order the team to retreat immediately. Meanwhile, at another location, Marvel is truly seen hovering. Reload the electronic gun before shooting a barrage of bullets with devastating power at them. Shockwaves disrupt radar signals. Interrupt communication back to headquarters. The outbreak of panic when they try to find out what is happening. A few people suggested launching missiles at the location of the fake Marvel, but us won't agree and said they still didn't know where the actual attack came from. Others are pushing for the submission of more defensive units to prolong the time, but the US also rejected that. He will not waste any more lives, but without a suitable plan. They must adhere to the current strategy. If not, then Legend could tear them apart. After a wait signal, tension returns and they received that the attack team was still alive. Please, be gentle. Please tell your friends, the real Mofo is at another location, and they quickly adjusted the plan to move outside immediately when they approached Mofo for real. They unleashed a barrage of artillery fire. But Mofo has a force field that is blocking their attacks. However, they continue to shoot with determination to break through this obstacle. Meanwhile, Kiria reports to another server named Nofei. The explanation is that Mofo is in mode hibernate to avoid being detected. You believe I have lured Shin into a trap and eliminated him. Nofei is satisfied with Kiria's directive to change the location, but at that moment Kiria saw that Shin was still alive, dodging and shooting back accurately. RA Shin is still in the battle. Kiria decided to engage in direct combat with you. When Shin hears Kiria's voice, completely immersed and could not hear teammates calling me. No Face observed from afar, commanded Kiria to retreat. The Nole team is in the lead. No Face forbids Kiria to continue fighting, but Kiria is too immersed in hatred, cannot be endured the thought of having to take a step back. Are you ready to face Shin? Shin also lunged at you with a calm smile that was almost scary. But in the end, Kiria withdrew, make Shin lose his direction for a moment. When Shin follows Marvel. Finally, you are awake again. And heard the frantic calls of my team. They are being overwhelmed by the legend units pursuing back to their position. Shin quickly ordered the team to follow. Like others who hesitate to wait for reinforcements. Shin is still as stubborn as usual, refusing to wait, so the team finally split in two. The former members of 86 continue to follow Mofo. While others stayed behind to handle Legend. The next day, Kira was lost in thought. Reflecting on Shin's secret identity card and recognize that it belongs to the Nuzan clan. You see a strange connection with Shin and Tin, both belong to the battlefield. But when you see a red flag flying, you remember Fetherica's red cloak, make the anger flare up in you. You remember the strong bond they shared and swear to take away everything that belongs to Sin in a fit of anger. Meanwhile, Shin received a call from a lieutenant colonel. I warn you, if they keep chasing Mofo. They will fall outside the scope of supporter Air Force reinforcements. Shin confidently said it doesn't matter how. Because you don't want to back down right now, because if they don't take down the Mofo, it will come back. The lieutenant colonel reluctantly allowed Xian to do what he wanted. Not long after, the whole team discovered that Frederica had followed them to the battlefield. By sneaking inside. They immediately got angry with her because I have put myself in danger. But she turned it back on because they were also reckless, ready to die in the battle, is no different from a girl. She reminds them returning home is a direct order that they have received. And that is the order they must follow. Please tell Ridden to take Fetherica back. But Ridden hesitated because I know it will be very difficult to take her through another round of Legend unit. Instead you suggested that she stay in your region. No other choice. Please give Cho Fetherica a gun, and say if everything goes wrong then you can use it to leave on your own. You were surprised when Fatherika calmly accepted the gun. Promise to return it after the mission ends. I hope they all return home safely. The whole team continues to move forward on the journey. But not long after, they encountered a few long-standing legends trying to ambush them. They tried to evade the initial attacks and climb to the top of the cliff while moving along the base below. They want to update the team about the distance between them and Mofo. But suddenly stopped moving. You said this is an opportunity for them to bridge the gap when it stands still. The moment they are about to move, they discovered them below and started shooting. Andrew was shot and fell off the cliff. Luckily she was not seriously injured but in the end got stuck in a ditch. She told the others to continue going. While she stopped a few of them, the rest of the team moves on but quickly encountered another legend uniblock their way. This time Theo stayed to handle the threat. Allow others to move forward. Meanwhile, Maria is monitoring them on radar. Confused, not understanding why they keep separating. But it is impressive because they found you. You exploit the extensive network of legend and set the shooting schedule for the unit. Warn them that all communication will be cut off until the launch mechanism is complete. You don't want any more interruptions while you were chasing Shin. Fatherika senses danger, immediately shouted for the whole team to dodge. The moment Kira shot at them, Kira found a good vantage point and fired back to test. Extend the time for Shin and Raiden to continue. Frustrated by her interference, Kira shoots at Kira. Shin and Raiden are worried that she has been taken down. Not long after, Shin and Raiden were also attacked by intense gunfire. Fatherika and Raiden were both shot. Raiden's Raijlan is damaged at one leg. Shin quickly told Fatherika to come in. Fido and Fido go with you. While the raider was injured, he still held his position. Shin told Raiden not to die, and Raiden just nodded. She is trying her best to stay calm. Then Shin ordered Fido to stop. And hide with Fatherika inside. You clarify if all of them are exterminated, then Fido must return to the Federation. Fatherika opposes and wants to talk directly with Kiria, but Shin insisted that if she really wanted to save Kiria because she has to survive. Your words calmed her down and she agreed. Finally, Shin arrived. Mofo and Kiria were almost going crazy in front of Vin Can. He can tear you apart, RA. When their battle begins, Shin's Angela line skyrocketed. And you switched to complete madness. Kira launched a series of attacks. But Shin dodged everything at lightning speed. Even Kira has to be amazed. Shin quickly realized. Attacks that do not deal much damage. So you decided to close in for a more direct attack. How much do you think you like to fight, and it makes you forget everything else? Shin tries to close the gap to attack Marvel. Meanwhile, Fatherika uses strength. Decision to monitor the ongoing battle. She sees Shin trying to push the Mofo to its limits. Hope to make it too hot. Kiria can sense what Shin is doing. Find it very uncomfortable but also impressed with Shin's strategy. In a strange way, Kiria imagines fighting alongside Shin. And together conquer the world. But you know Shin is too strong for that to happen. Fatherika recalled that Iran had once said Shin always has tricks up his sleeve. But she also knows that Kiria is not weak at all. You have your own special tricks, especially in close combat. The moment she tried to warn Shin, you return to reality when you see the Mofo suddenly attack. Shin narrowly escaped. But landed right in front of a cannon. Many barrels of artillery fired towards you. But Raiden arrived in time to fire the cannon away from Shin. Kira saw Raiden intervene and decided to target him. Shin received news that they are in big trouble. When your magazine runs out of bullets, you call the headquarters to report. Everyone else has been applauded and you are the last person alive. The Mofo is still hovering above your head, angry about the fallen comrades, and Lena's words filled his mind and you can't escape the feeling they are saying goodbye. Finally, Shin is determined to rush towards the Mofo, ready to face death. But just when you were expecting the worst, the support forces have arrived. Missiles fired from all sides caught Kira off guard. Kira spreads the wings of OFO.TO, protect it from the fierce attack and push Xion back. A little bit of rocket debris fell down and ignited the paper cover. Kira went crazy, desperately wanting to kill Shin at all costs. But suddenly, you see Fatherika standing in front of Shin's regulation. She faces you. Why are you so obsessed with destruction, a person you have never met, especially someone from the same family as you? Kiria is suffering. Saying everything you have left is the surge. That is all that keeps you going because you believe Fatherika has also passed away. Driven by anger, Kiria scratches what you think is Shin's Regelin until Fatherika shoots Shin's gun. Bring you back to reality. You felt a slight relief when you saw Fatherika was still alive. But the furrier quickly returned because it was reported that Shin had taken her hostage. Fatherika, in a desperate move, stepped out of hiding and tried to stop you. She pointed the gun at her head and begged Shin Kiria to save her. Please don't do that. And panicked with his hands towards her. Seize the opportunity. Shin Lao enters the Kiria. But when Kiria discovered Ra Shin, then you immediately attacked. Shin dodged accurately and then tried to climb Marvel. You asked where Fatherika Kiria isned, she only showed him the position behind the main gun. Please find Kiria and shoot him. At that moment, Fatherika imagined another reality, where both Kiria and Shin serve in her empire. She saw Kiria continuously scolding Shin, and she stepped in to calm everything down and took Kiria away. Fatherika tried to chase after them, but she couldn't reach them. Kiria looked back at her and Shin and then turned away. Join Suri with those who have fallen. Frederica returns to reality and quietly said goodbye to Kiria. After Shin delivered the finishing blow, Mofo starts to self-destruct. When Shin Lao entered Mofo for the last time, you shouted at Kiria, dead are the past and they should only remain in that past, but when Shin fired the last shot, Kiria has taken your hand, and the general of the rule cannot push out the moment Mufo is about to explode. Kiria said to Shin, it's time for you to go because you have also died like Kiria. You wonder why Shin, the person who intended to die in this battle, is still alive. Even when Kiria lets go of Shin's hand, Shin still clings tightly, not wanting to let go. Kiria pushed Shinra's hand just as the Mofo burst into flames. Shin survived as if he had fainted, drowning in memories of the time Suri strangled you. You look at Suri's card. I heard my brother tell you to let go. But Shin wouldn't agree. You see the images of the 86 comrades who have died. Thank you for bringing them, Theo, along this journey. But then there was another voice. The voice keeps affirming that you have nothing left, and no AI remembers you anymore. That voice told you that you had no reason to live anymore, and is only allowed to remain in the world to kill Marvel. Suri's voice interrupted that voice and said, please cheer up. But Shin shouted, Suri is not allowed to tell you what to do. After leaving you behind. You wonder why everyone around keeps leaving you behind. Suddenly Xian found himself at the memorial off Team 86. Negative voices echoing in the mind. You said you found a place to die. Please kneel before the memorial. Staring at the knife, you use it to carve the tags and the tags of Suri. In the distance, you see friends and Fatherika heading towards you. They offered to help you carry the burden, but when Shin reached out his hand to them, your arm has been severed. And Raiden said they had also left him behind. Their image gradually fades and I asked them to wait for me. But they disappeared. You wake up in the Regilin, your hand still reaching up to the sky. When the fire continues to burn, Shin realizes that his friends are still losing connection. You discovered Suri's card near your feet and tried to reach it. But the seatbelt kept you back. Frustratingly, you screamed out of frustration. At that moment, a nearby legend unit approached, mocking you for thinking everything was over. Remember the pain when running after the Suri. Please ask the legend unit to kill you. So that you can reunite with your brother. But before that unit could attack, they have been eliminated by another person. Lena appeared running towards Shin's Regilin to check. Your cousin exchanged a few brief words and informed her your unit is behind. You urged her to go with you so that your forces can protect her. But Lena wouldn't agree and said she must stay to fight for the country. Shin is confused, asked her why she continues to fight. And asked her if she wanted to die. Just at that moment, Psy Club, new unit leader of Lena, has come to check on her and their synchronization accidentally connected to Jin's device. Shin was surprised to find out that she is his former lieutenant. After the conversation with Seklas, Lena told Shinko she would not stop fighting. Just because the situation is not favorable for her. She has people she wants to approach. The people who inspired her. 86 steps closer. Lena officially introduces herself to Shin. Finally, you also recognized her and whispered from the lieutenant. Surprise Lena. You quickly turned off the machine and asked why she still fights for those who have passed away. Lena replied that they had taught her the true nature of legend. That is the reason why she is still alive. If they help her survive, that is because they want to see her again, and she intends to continue to survive until that happens. She took the note and the photo they left for her, and give it to Shin. She said she wanted to take 86 across the battlefield. Seeing the photo of the Shin team smiling, Lena said you should be proud of yourself. Because they fought to the end. Overwhelmed, Shin cried out for the lieutenant colonel. When you tried to open the hatch of the Regilin to meet her. But you stopped when seeing the antic-free units of legend flying Miarbius heading towards the Republic. Cyclops hurriedly ran to warn Lena. But just at that moment, more reinforcements have arrived and shot down the antic-fi. Cyclops discovered Shin's secret identity card. And realized that you are still alive. But she didn't tell Lena, and remember, she has never met Shin in real life. Chris contacted Shin. Congratulations, you have completed the task. And revealed that the remaining 86 people had also survived. They quickly synchronized with Shin. Relieved to hear your voice. They said they were worried because you still hadn't moved after the explosion. Overwhelmed with emotions, Shin listens to the voices of his friends. And felt a wave of relief wash over him. Raiden assured you that the entire Noli team has arrived. And this time, no AI is left behind. Shin couldn't help but smile. Eun's also contacted Shin. He worries about his son. Make Shin laugh. Eun said he is considering a rescue mission. To save the remaining 86 people in the Republic and suggested that Shin and his friends come back. However, Shin refused and said they would stay in the trash. You don't care about saving the Republic. But there are still people you want to protect. We told you to go home and rest, while Lena and her soldiers were escorted back to the base. Shin also agrees. Fetherica appears and On said she would have to face the consequences for her actions when she goes home. Shin was surprised that she survived the mofo explosion. And listened to Fetherica explain Kiria protected her in his final moments. I'm sorry, but I no longer have Shin's gun. But Shin assured her that it wasn't important. When Lena and Cyclops boarded the plane to go home, Fetherica teased Shin because he talked to Lena. Shin has never told Fetherica about Lena. But with her special power, she has heard everything. She said about meeting Lena directly the next step should be Shin's new goal. After the war really ended. Lena is walking along the path that Shin has opened up. And Shin should go there to meet her at the final stage. Shin only smiled when thinking about that. Return to base. Red released an audio recording of Lena's conversation and Shin teased you about that. 1 year later, Lena went to Jack to meet him, and he took her to the 86 Memorial. A place that holds deep meaning for her. Standing in front of the memorial, Lena quietly expressed her respect for the 86 soldiers sacrificed for the Republic. Once again I swear I will never forget them or the promise I made. She reflects on their sacrifices and reaffirms she will honor their memory by continuing to fight. After that, Us took Lena to meet the 5 members of District 86 that she once commanded. It is the spy ahead team, but she has been trying to reach out for a long time. When they appeared, Lena's breath caught in her throat. Finally, you also got to meet the people you have always admired from afar. Please step forward and stand straight. I introduce myself as a former team leader of the unit Spearhead Undertaker. For a moment, Lena didn't say anything because she still doesn't believe they have met in person. Seeing Shin in front of Lena couldn't help but bring tears to her eyes. All the emotions she had suppressed surged out and she began to cry. Receiver finally, she has caught up with the people she admires. Shin and the others watched her pour out all her emotions. Their expressions softened when seeing their Henderno standing at the same level as them. Lena wiped her tears and smiled. Knowing that from this moment she will fight alongside them just like she always wanted. This episode ends here. If you find it interesting, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications for more exciting videos later. Also to motivate myself. Thank you very much, everyone.
In your eyes, in my forever. Every moment we together. From the dawn to twilight's glow. Our love, all I ever knew. In your eyes I find my way. Every night turns into day. With your touch my heart will soar. Love you more and more and more. Hold me close, never let go. Through the times both fast and slow. When the darkness fills the sky, with you near we rise so high. In your eyes I find my way. Every night turns into day. With your touch my heart will soar. Love you more and more and more. Hold me close, never let go. Through the times both fast and slow.